Across the globe, from the highest peaks to the deepest valleys, whispers of a cataclysmic flood echo through the ages. Tales of destruction and renewal, etched into the collective memory of humankind. Today, we delve into these stories, seeking the common threads that bind them and questioning the truths they may hold. Our journey begins in Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization, with the Epic of Gilgamesh. Here we encounter Utnapishtim, a wise king warned by the god Ea of an impending deluge. He builds an ark, shelters his family and animals, and survives the flood that wipes out humanity. Secular scholars place the events in Gilgamesh, around the early Bronze Age. Now compare this to the biblical account. The Book of Genesis tells of Noah, a righteous man commanded by God to build an ark and save his family and creatures from a great flood brought about by humanity's wickedness. For 40 days and 40 nights, the rains fell, and all life perished, save for those aboard the ark. Could the story of Noah be a retelling of an even earlier flood legend? The similarities with the Epic of Gilgamesh are striking. A divine warning, a chosen hero, the construction of an ark, the release of birds to test the waters, and a sacrifice of gratitude after the flood subsides. The timelines between Mesopotamia and biblical histories certainly allow for some overlap. Venturing westward, we arrive in ancient Greece, where the myth of Deucalion and Pyrrha unfolds. Zeus, angered by the wickedness of mankind, unleashes a great flood. Deucalion, son of Prometheus, and his wife Pyrrha, warned by Prometheus, build a chest and survive the deluge. Afterwards, they repopulate the earth by casting stones behind them, which transform into people. While the specifics differ, the core narrative remains consistent: divine wrath, a destructive flood, and the survival of a chosen few to rebuild civilization. Across the vast Indian subcontinent, ancient Hindu texts recount the story of Manu, the progenitor of mankind. A great fish, an avatar of Vishnu, warns Manu of an impending deluge and instructs him to build a boat. Manu gathers seeds and animals, and the fish guides his vessel through the flood, eventually depositing him on a mountaintop to begin anew. Here again, we see the familiar motifs: divine intervention, a chosen individual, an ark-like vessel, and the preservation of life through a cataclysmic flood. Even in the Americas, far removed from the Old World, flood narratives persist. Indigenous cultures of the Andes Mountains tell of a great flood, Viracocha, that destroyed the world, save for a few who sought refuge on high peaks or within floating boxes. These flood traditions were found throughout the Americas, with some cultures attributing the flood to disrespect of the gods. From China to Africa, Australia to the Pacific Islands, echoes of the Great Flood resonate in countless cultures. Each tale possesses unique characteristics, shaped by local geography, beliefs, and customs. Yet, beneath the surface, a common thread emerges: a cataclysmic flood that reshaped the world and tested the resilience of humanity. So, what can we conclude from these pervasive flood stories? Are they mere coincidences, products of shared human imagination? Or do they reflect a memory of a real event, a global cataclysm that left an indelible mark on the collective human psyche? Geological evidence reveals that massive floods have indeed occurred throughout Earth's history. The end of the last ice age, around 11,700 years ago, saw dramatic sea level rises and the breaching of massive ice dams, unleashing catastrophic floods. These events could have served as the basis for the flood myths that have been passed down through generations. The veracity of these flood stories, therefore, likely lies somewhere between literal truth and symbolic representation. They may not be accurate historical accounts, but they may reflect a collective memory of real geological events, filtered through the lens of cultural beliefs and anxieties. Regardless of their origin, the flood stories offer profound insights into the human condition. They speak to our vulnerability in the face of natural disasters, our capacity for resilience and adaptation, and our enduring need to find meaning and purpose in a world shaped by both destruction and renewal. As we face the challenges of climate change and rising sea levels, the flood stories serve as a timely reminder of our interconnectedness and our shared responsibility to protect our planet and its inhabitants. The lessons of the past can guide us towards a more sustainable and equitable future. This is Hidden Histories. Like, share, and subscribe for more biblical mysteries, ancient truths, and forbidden knowledge revealed daily.